My name is Sarah. I am 50 years old. I understood very quickly that my body is my biggest investment right now. Not my portfolio, not my house, but my physical self. I remember waking up a few months after my 50th birthday and looking in the bathroom mirror. The reflection looking back at me was tired. My skin felt completely different. It was losing its bounce. I was dealing with fine lines that seemed to appear overnight, sagging skin around my jaw, and my long silver hair just felt thinner when I gathered it into a ponytail. I learned later that women lose up to 30% of their skin's collagen within just 5 years after menopause. That number terrified me. Fine lines and thinning hair felt totally unavoidable. But here is the secret I uncovered. It is not only about hormones. In my case, the real issue was hidden vitamin deficiencies. There are 3 specific vitamins I had no idea I was missing, and they changed everything for me. If you're also tired of spending a fortune on creams that do not work, and want to learn how I rebuilt my skin and hair from the inside out, hit the subscribe button and leave a like. Let's get stronger together. Honestly, I was so discouraged for a long time. I spent hours at department store beauty counters. I bought the expensive facials. I tried the serums in the beautiful glass bottles. The beauty industry constantly insists that youth comes in a cream or an injection. But I realized I was completely powerless if I only treated the outside. The science I dug into told a completely different story. The real solution was restoring the nutrients my body was gradually losing. I want to tell you about my journey with 3 clinically studied vitamins that completely brought back my skin elasticity, my hair growth, and gave me stronger nails. Let me explain the first one. It is vitamin K2. I call it the elasticity supporter. For the longest time, my skin just felt dry. It felt tight. It was less springy. I would put on my heavy night creams, drink some water, and wake up still feeling like my face was covered in a stiff mask. I thought I just needed more hydration, but I was missing something so much deeper. I learned that this stiff feeling wasn't just on the surface, it was a quiet deficiency in one of the most overlooked nutrients for healthy aging, vitamin K2. I had never even heard of it in anti-aging conversations. You see, K2 has a very specific job. It activates proteins that control where calcium travels in your body. It directs calcium into your skeleton, into your bones where it actually belongs. And more importantly, it keeps that calcium out of your arteries and your soft tissues. I realized that when calcium accumulates in the wrong places, your tissues literally begin to stiffen. I felt it in my body. In my skin, this stiffening showed up as a total loss of bounce. The lines got deeper. The texture of my face felt rigid. It made so much sense to me. As my estrogen was declining, my microcirculation was changing. But my skin still needed oxygen. It still needed nutrients. That is exactly where K2 came in for me. By keeping my blood vessels flexible and keeping my minerals balanced, K2 helped preserve the environment that keeps my skin supple. I started looking for ways to get it. I found out the richest natural source is something called natto, a fermented soybean dish from Japan. I live in the U.S. and honestly, that is not something I eat. I knew I could get a little bit from aged cheeses like Gouda, but not nearly enough to make a difference. So I turned to supplementation. I started taking the MK7 form of K2. I chose menaquinone 7 because I read it stays active in the body longer and works way more consistently. I made it a strict daily habit. I took a dose of about 90 micrograms every single day. I always made sure to take it with a meal that included healthy fats, like a piece of avocado or some olive oil on my salad, because that helps the body absorb it. If you take blood thinners, you definitely need to talk to your doctor first, but for me, it was safe. I was scared at first that it wouldn't work, but I stayed patient. It was not an overnight fix. But after about 6 to 8 weeks, I felt a shift. My skin literally felt less rigid. I would touch my cheek and it held moisture better. It actually regained a bit of that natural spring. I also knew that deep down it was helping my bone density and my blood vessels, which takes a few months longer, but that meant long-term vitality for me. Vitamin K2 became the scaffolding for everything else I did, but K2 was just my starting line. My skin still had this dull, uneven look to it. Even with the bounce coming back, I lacked that radiant glow I used to have in my 30s. I was still using my moisturizers and my sunscreens every morning, but the damage was deeper. Topical products only sit on the outer layer. They cannot reach inside the cells where the real damage happens. That is when I introduced vitamin A, specifically in the form of astaxanthin. This is my glow protector. I learned it is a powerful antioxidant from the carotenoid family. It is naturally found in wild salmon, shrimp, and this specific red microalgae. What fascinated me was how it works. It actually embeds itself across your cell membranes. It guards the inner and the outer layers of every single cell. It intercepts free radicals exactly where they cause the damage. I read the lab comparisons and I was shocked. Astaxanthin is up to 500 times stronger than vitamin E. It is way more potent than vitamin C for stopping oxidative stress. After I hit 50 and my estrogen dropped, my body's natural antioxidant defenses were so weak. I felt like every time I went outside, the environmental stress, the sunlight, the pollution, it was all just accelerating the breakdown of my healthy skin cells. My sunscreen was blocking the UV light, sure, but it wasn't doing anything about the damage already happening inside my skin. So I started taking astaxanthin. I treated it like my internal sunscreen. It doesn't block the sun, but it neutralizes the effects at the cellular level. My skin became protected from within. I couldn't eat enough wild salmon every single day to get the clinical dose, so I bought a supplement. I started taking 4 milligrams daily. Just like the K2, I took it with a meal containing healthy fat. I made sure never to take it on an empty stomach because it gave me a slight stomach ache once. I waited. I kept up my home gym routine. I kept working on my productivity. And right around the 8-week mark, the changes were undeniable. I looked in the mirror one morning after my workout, and my face just looked brighter. The texture was so much more refined. The natural glow I thought I lost forever was actually returning. It was working from the inside, resisting that daily stress. Plus, I noticed my physical stamina during my workouts felt better. It was an incredible investment for my body. But I still had one major frustration: my hair and my nails. I would run my fingers through my hair in the shower, and the amount of shedding made me want to cry. I would be typing on my laptop, working on a project, and my nails would just split right at the edge. It was incredibly annoying, but I also knew it was a biological signal. My body was telling me something essential was missing. That missing piece was biotin, or vitamin B7. I call it the keratin builder. Biotin plays a central role in producing keratin, which is the structural protein that makes up your hair, your nails, and the outer layer of your skin. When my biotin levels dropped after 50, my keratin production just slowed down. My tissues became fragile. That is exactly why I had brittle nails and excessive hair shedding. Without enough biotin, my new cells just lacked structure. I decided to fix it. I knew I could get biotin from eggs, almonds, and sweet potatoes, and I do eat those. But cooking destroys some of it, and my 50-year-old digestive system just doesn't absorb things like it used to. Supplementation was the clear answer for me. I started taking 2.5 milligrams of biotin every day with my breakfast. Because it is water-soluble, I didn't worry about taking too much. My body would just flush out what it didn't need. This one required the most patience. Hair and nails grow so incredibly slowly. I watched and waited for 3 solid months. But then, the early signs showed up. I felt a stronger edge on my nails. They stopped chipping on my keyboard. Then, the best part happened. I started seeing these tiny baby hairs growing in at my temples. My scalp felt healthier. My skin felt less dry by the end of the day. Those small wins added up, and honestly, a quiet confidence returned to me. I wasn't just fading away, I was rebuilding. But here is the most important lesson I learned through all of this. You cannot just take these vitamins and expect a miracle if your daily life is a mess. I had to build a foundation. I call them my 5 supportive habits. I realized early on that my body's internal environment had to support the K2, the astaxanthin, and the biotin. Otherwise, I was just wasting my money. My first absolute rule became hydration. Water is the transport system. Without it, my cells couldn't absorb the vitamins anyway. When I wasn't drinking enough, my skin looked completely flat and dull. I committed to drinking 6 to 8 large glasses of water every single day. I kept a bottle with me in my home gym, on my desk, everywhere. Within days, my moisturizers actually started working better because my skin was no longer starving from the inside. My second habit was getting gentle morning sunlight. I started stepping out onto my patio for just 10 minutes every morning. It helped regulate my circadian rhythm and stimulated my natural vitamin D. It stabilized my hormones. I still wear sunscreen later in the day, but that early light completely changed my sleep quality. And when I slept better, my face looked so much more rested. Third was my nutrition. I couldn't just rely on the pills. I needed whole foods to act as cofactors for the vitamins. I started filling my plates with vibrant greens, reds, purples, and oranges. I ate massive salads. The minerals and phytonutrients in the real food amplified everything the supplements were doing. The supplements were just my reinforcements. Fourth was protecting my sleep. This was non-negotiable. During deep rest is when the body actually produces collagen and repairs damage. If I skimped on sleep to work late, no vitamin could fix the puffiness and the dullness the next day. I strictly guarded my 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. My energy became steady, and my skin tone evened out. And the fifth habit was managing my stress. This was the quiet key. High cortisol absolutely destroys collagen. It accelerates aging faster than anything. I started taking just 10 minutes a day for deep breathing. Just sitting in my living room, breathing in and out, calming my nervous system. It changed how my body responded to every challenge. It changed what I saw in the mirror. Managing my stress wasn't some luxury. It became my preventive medicine. When I combined my supplements with my water, my meals, my sleep, my sunlight, and my breathing, the transformation was staggering. I felt like myself again. I had energy, my skin was radiant, my hair was growing. I realized that beauty after 50 is not about turning back the clock. I don't want to be 30 again. I love the authority and the strength I have now. It is simply about giving my body the tools it needs to thrive right now. I started slowly. I stayed consistent. I focused on balance. I bought reliable supplements. I ate well. And I found a calm rhythm to my days. It took time, but what I gained was so much more than smoother skin or stronger nails. I gained the profound respect I have for my own body. I looked in the mirror and I was totally aligned with the woman looking back at me. She is strong, she is vibrant, and she refuses to be tired. If you are listening to this, I want you to know that your body is ready to rebuild if you just give it the right materials. Do not settle for feeling fragile. You have so much power over how you age. We are building a community of people who prioritize their vitality and their active performance. If my journey brought you some clarity today, I want you to go to the comments right now and type, "I am strong." Let's show everyone that our best years are literally right now. Thank you for being here with me. Keep investing in yourself, and I will see you in the next one.